Remember to record as we get going. And I want to introduce myself. My name is Tamron, and I'm a women's wellness astrologer, and I am your host tonight. And I just want to say thank you so much for carving out your precious time to be here with me and to connect with all of the other amazing women that are here with you tonight. And now that I am much wiser in this stage of my life, I really do honor time. And everything just seems to happen so fast. And this really is a powerful time in our lives where women can become healthier and authentically happier. Health is wealth. Ladies, who agrees with that statement? Anybody in the room? Yes. All right. Well, I just want to say again, welcome to tonight's masterclass, because it really is possible to learn how to use your unique astrological birth chart to help you begin creating a personalized wellness action plan to help restore a balanced mind, body, and spirit using this ancient wisdom. And by the end of our time together tonight, you will walk away with at least one powerful action step to get you started so that you can begin feeling better today. And remember to stay till the end of this masterclass to receive the bonus gift that I have for you, because I am on a mission to supporting more women so that they have choices in front of them. So tonight, let's step into our power together now during the age of Aquarius, where I believe astrology and holistic health is the future to becoming everyday tools in the mainstream for our overall health and emotional well-being. So now it's your time to embrace this ancient wisdom. And just a little bit of basic housekeeping. This is a safe place to share anything that comes up for you tonight. So please, whatever happens in this online room, allow it to stay in the room. Does everybody agree? Yes. Okay. And you will receive a recording in a follow-up email within the next 48 hours. And there will be times when I will pause from teaching about the 3 steps so that you can ask questions. So please hold on during the presentation, and we will make some time for you ladies tonight. And I have 3 lovely assistants here with me tonight who are also going to keep an eye out in the chat for any questions that you might have, or if you feel like you need to raise your hand, and they will stop me if needed. And with that being said, ladies, are you ready? Raise your hand. Show me some hearts. Yes, if you're wanting to know how to tap into these 3 secrets using this ancient wisdom of astrology. So, if there is anyone in the room tonight, is there anyone like feeling listless or lacking motivation, or for some reason just feeling off lately? Right? Because sometimes that just happens, right? Yeah. Or raise your hand or show me some hearts. Are you struggling with a recent challenging event in your life? Because for some women, this could be a relationship breakup, like a job loss, or just something suddenly happened and they just feel yeah, shunned, yeah, right. So that just shows you that we're all in the right place tonight, because I bet the stars have already aligned us to be together here right now. So again, I'm going to encourage you to participate full on for the next hour so that you can walk away tonight feeling more empowered. And before we get rolling into the training, I would just take a couple of minutes with you, and I'd love to share a personal story with all of you in case you don't know me already, because today I am so grateful that I have studied my own astrological birth chart to guide me with such powerful insights so that I have been able to remain emotionally grounded, calm, and be able to trust my own intuition to make those important decisions, even if I am facing a challenging time. Because now, at age 61, I sleep well most nights and I wake up feeling refreshed, physically invigorated, and really excited about the day ahead. I often receive compliments from people who don't even know me that I don't look or act my age, and I feel honored every single time this happens. And it happened again last week when I was at the dentist. She couldn't believe I was 61. But it wasn't always this way. And if you would have told me that 25 years ago that I'd become a leader in the women's wellness industry using astrology as a framework for emotional healing and vitality, I would have thought you were crazy. But now I understand what real leadership means. And it's not about perfection. It's about rising again and again after life knocks you down. And my birth chart confirmed it. I was destined to face some tough lessons. And it was my job to choose how I'd respond, how I'd manage my emotions, recover, and rebuild my life. And I've also faced some serious health setbacks too. Yet, here I am, ladies, with all of you, and I'm still rising. Because leadership means living your truth and showing your scars and just leading by example. And back in my early 40s, I was recently divorced and still grieving the recent death of my father while raising two young boys on my own. And from the outside, oh yeah, I look strong. But on the inside, I was secretly battling deep depression and even suicidal thoughts. And physically, my body was falling apart and screaming for help. And I suffered from major digestive issues and relentless sinus infections and many unsettled and sleepless nights that finally led to surgery. But you know what? Even that didn't help. And I remember sitting in my doctor's office with my swollen face, trying to deal with another wicked sinus infection, feeling exhausted and emotionally numb. And she looked at me and said, well, I have flagged all the prescribed medications in your file, and you've reacted badly to all of them. So if you ever seriously get sick, we'll have no options for you. I mean, I sat there, I was in shock, and I couldn't believe what this doctor had just said to me. I felt so scared and I just couldn't stop crying. I walked out of the hall just bawling, and I felt like I had literally been punched in the face like multiple times. Like, what else could happen to me? I felt so lost and so alone. And literally an hour later, I was standing in the school foyer to pick up my boys with my swollen face, and a fellow mom approached me and I shared what had just happened. And she was a newly certified holistic health practitioner. And she just gently asked me if I'd be open to trying something different. I was so desperate. I mean, she could see the look in my face, in my eyes. And I said yes, even though I had no clue what I was signing up for and saying yes to. Like, I was just numb. That desperation was a time in my life when I was making a choice to find a way to deal with my health issues. And little did I know that I had just opened this huge door that would lead me down a completely new path and a path to where I am standing here tonight with all of you. That next day, I had my first holistic treatments with her. And for the first time in months, I could breathe. That night, I slept soundly. And by morning, the pain and all of the intense pain in my sinuses had lifted and completely out of my head. I felt hope. I couldn't believe it. Now, I needed to know how and why this worked. The holistic solutions I just experienced at this woman's house in her basement weren't taught by my doctor or in any school that I attended. So I began to search. And we're talking 25 years ago here. So one day on my quest, I picked up this skinny little health magazine and I found this tiny little listing on the bottom of a page for holistic schools in the nearest cities. And I felt like I had won the lottery. Can you imagine? So over the next 25 years, I studied and studied with powerful teachers, and I devoured stacks of books. And I implemented the wisdom to manage my health in a completely alternative way. But I'm telling you, the one course that provided real solutions to help me understand my health and wellness was actually studying astrology. Can you imagine? So when I became a certified astrologer, I started with my own birth chart. And after revisiting the dates when everything seemed to fall apart during a challenging time in my past, I could study the chart of that date. And I began to notice the patterns that this was exactly when my health took a hit. And what I uncovered was so powerful. Each breakdown I was experiencing was actually a breakthrough, guiding me to keep using holistic solutions to keep me emotionally strong and physically healthy. There were no more trips to my doctor. There were no more trips to the pharmacy. I relied on my own notes and I knew what solutions to use because I kept track of everything that I was doing. And studying astrology helped me to make sense of my entire life. It gave me this new lens, a higher perspective, and to see not just what was happening, but also what actions to take. And this is when the real magic happened for me. Using my notes, I started this wellness template that lists out the specific tools to stay grounded, clear, and really emotionally resilient, and notes that I could return to anytime. No more guessing for me. That would always guide me to recover when I fell down. Because no matter where I went, more women were watching and they were reaching out and asking me for advice. And I was able to teach them how to simplify their daily wellness routines with the greatest impact. And now, as I pay attention to what is always happening in the astrological sky, I can easily predict how everyone might be feeling and exactly what holistic solutions they can implement right away to stay calm, to stay grounded, so that they can also tap into their intuitive abilities and make their own empowered decisions. And when life throws another curveball, ladies, because we know it always does, right? I have the answers ready to go for myself, for my followers on social media, and especially for my clients, because I created a system that works and it's rooted in the wisdom of the stars. So, ladies, wouldn't you love to have that kind of clarity, confidence, and knowledge yourself? I mean, come on, who wouldn't, right? So, imagine what's possible for you now that more women are waking up and open-minded to using astrology as a tool to understand their lives from a deeper, more spiritual perspective that can also support their health. Because it's not just about the astrological sun sign. No, it's about using this ancient wisdom to create a personalized wellness template to guide anyone according to their unique birth chart and through their life's inevitable ups and downs. Because let's be honest, we do all have them. And whether it's been triggered, like I said earlier, by a bad breakup, a sudden job loss, or even what's happening on a global scale, remember that life isn't here to break you. It's here to awaken you. And it can feel heavy at times. I've had those experiences, but it's in those moments that that real transformation is ready to begin. And your birth chart is your personalized wellness framework, showing when challenges might arise and the exact template and the tools that you need to stay grounded, clear, and empowered so that you can experience joy, radiant health, and a new definition of true wealth. And tonight, ladies, I would just love to show you how. Right? Are we ready? Yes. Okay, I'm seeing the nods. Okay, so as promised, we're going to get started. And I just want to remind you that on the day and the time and the place that you were born, when you took your first breath here on the planet Earth, it literally creates a picture in the astrological sky. And this is unique to you. And it's like a snapshot, right, of all of the planets, the main planets, of where they are. And it's called your astrological birth chart. And it's also a wellness template curated with everything you need to know about your own personal life journey and important information so that you can be healthy and strong. So tonight I'm going to share this secret information about astrology and that hidden link to our overall well-being using what we call the 4 elements that are represented in an astrological birth chart. So I am going to share on the screen a little diagram that I created. So you guys can just see on a very basic level. You're not here, I'm not teaching you how to be astrologers, but some people don't know anything about astrology, but they're very fascinating. So I've created this, okay? And basically what it is showing is, if this was you, pretend you are in the middle as a person taking your first breath here on planet Earth. And if you were to look up, this is the astrological sky, right? Because here's the Earth and the person. So all around us, we have the 12 signs in astrology. So it's literally like the sky has been divided into 12 equal parts. So for this example, if you look on the left here, you're going to see a fire element. So this is a sign of Aries. And within all the 12 parts of the sky that are represented by the signs, the astrological signs, is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So all of us here tonight, the day we were born, wherever the sun was, that is our sun sign, right? But also, if you note, within those 12 pieces of the pie, there's 4 different elements. We have fire elements, we have earth elements, we have air, and we have water. So the fire element is Aries and Leo and Sagittarius. Earth elements are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And air elements are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And finally, water is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So there's 10 planets in total, and there's 12 pieces of the pie. So those 10 planets were somewhere in the sky when you took your first breath. Okay, does that make sense? So for health and wellness, wherever those planets were divided up by the 10 planets, a lot of them might have been in one of those elements, none in another element, or they could be a combination. They could be balanced. And for health and wellness purposes, those 4 elements represent specific things that we're going to get into in a minute when I talk about the 3 steps. But this is what I'm referring to. So I wanted to just show you so you have a picture of when I talk about where the planets are and the elements in the sky. Does that make sense? Very simple? Yeah. Okay. And like I said, our sun sign, like I have the image on the top, is where the sun was when you were born. That has a big impact on your health and wellness. And also the moon sign is more of your emotional disposition. Okay. So the next little image I'm going to share with you is something a little bit more fun. And I'm going to show you what the sky looks like right now. Okay. So can you see a different image on the screen now, ladies? Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm not teaching astrology. If you were to look at this, you're like, oh my God, it's just a whole bunch of red and blue lines and all this kind of funky stuff. But for me, as a wellness astrologer, to me, this is your chart. This is your template. I know what to look for. And I already know certain things about this person, what they might need. But right now, I just want to show you that we're getting close to the full moon, which is happening in 2 days. And we're in Scorpio season. So down here, near like 4 o'clock, we have the sun, the glyph of the sun. Oh, pardon me, the glyph of the sun, and it's in Scorpio, right? And pretty soon, if you remember in school, when it's a full moon, the sun and the moon are an exact opposite of each other in the sky. And that's why the sun reflects off the moon, right? So the moon is bright. And so the moon is almost across, because this is the image of tonight. So pretty right now, the moon's in Aries. But in 2 days, the moon's going to be in Taurus. So that's going to be a full moon energy. Okay. But for the elements, if you were to look at where the planets are tonight, it's exactly where on the inside you see all these little glyphs, the images of the planets. Those are the 10 major planets. And where they are, depending if they're in an air sign element or a fire sign element, these are indications on what you're going to need to be emotionally strong and physically healthy. So that's all I need to know, is just to interpret it for my clients. Okay. But for tonight, I want to show you at the very bottom here on the right-hand side, you see this little chart. And you see on the left-hand side, you see F for fire, E for earth, A for air, W for water. That's telling me this. If someone was born right now at 7 o'clock, when we started, there were 3 planets in fire. There were no planets in earth. That's very interesting. There was a lot of planets in air, and there was a lot of planets in water. So understanding this is the clues that I'm referring to for your health and wellness. And they're divided by those 4 elements. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's not for you guys to know, but this is what I interpret and how I help my clients. Okay. So we're going to stop that share. And let's get into the actual training. So let me close this off so that I don't get confused. And we're going to get rolling. Okay. So each element, like I said, in a person's chart is repeated 3 times in total. And again, the sun is in a specific place and the moon, and that's all that that is the main focus of working with someone for their astrological wellness templates. So for step number 1, let us know, or type a yes in the chat, or send some hearts, or raise your hand even, if you're experiencing some type of a challenge in your life and you feel like you're trying to deal with one or more things all at once. Like, you got some physical things going on, you've got emotional things, like you're super emotional. And then if we were to think about how to get started, like, let me know, would that not be confusing, or you're feeling frustrated about to even how to deal with what's happening, right? Because there's multiple things happening at once. And that's what was happening with me. And the truth is, we can't solve all of our challenges at once. but we do have the power to start with just one step. So today, even for if you're going through something as a challenge, there's one thing that you can actually start doing right now so that you can start feeling better. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Don't let life take you out. You have the power to do something. So each of the four elements represents a specific area regarding emotional health and the vitality in astrology. And if there's anybody brave enough here tonight, is there anyone willing? My assistants will take you off of your audio. And can you share just in general, are you going through something difficult right now? Is there anybody going through a tough time? Anybody? You don't have to tell us all the details, but are you going through something that just seems like a little bit of a challenge? No? Everybody's going through something good? Okay. All righty. Narjan. Okay, go ahead. You don't have to tell us all the details. Maybe one of the ladies will take you off. Your bravery, you're going to
I
lead
can
by example
share.
tonight.
Yes, I will share. That's fine.
Uh,
A number of things, but be it the direction of my career is taking a
okay,
bit of a, I don't know what's happening, which then impacts my financial position.
right.
What else is going on that I'm unclear of?
Did you
Um,
go through a change though? Like, did something suddenly happen in your career that's causing you a challenge?
I guess I'm a bit of a slow learner. It's been happening for probably the last 9 months to 12 months. But and I've seen a shift in my career. So, but now it's got almost to a halt of, okay, what do I need to know? What's my next step? And where is it leading me to? In terms of my health, there's been a few issues that I'm trying to get to the bottom of, but again, that's been a long-standing thing.
How
And
long? How long? Just in general, a year, 2 years,
probably more than 5 years.
5 years. Okay,
And in terms of location, because I am in Ontario, I'm
right.
feeling like this isn't the spot. And I've been feeling that for probably about 2, 3 years. And I make a move and then I move elsewhere, somewhere within Ontario. And then I'm like, okay, this isn't working either. So where's my next spot to feel landed and rooted?
Okay.
So there's a lot there.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. So as you're talking, just to share with you, when anybody is sharing with me, I've been doing this work now for 25 years. And so when people are sharing, I already know what I'm going to be looking for in her chart,
Yeah.
just from what she shared, right? Because I get that. Even when you live somewhere, if you feel emotionally unsettled, that's hard to deal with. It just feels like you don't fit in, right? And that affects us emotionally too. And so there are things we can look for as well in someone's chart. So there's different things that, there's things like astrocartography, we can talk about where is best suited, that type of thing. So, but even just the fact that you've had a health concern for 5 years and you're feeling unsettled, that's a big deal. So thank you for being brave to share that, because what I also want to do, how do you say your name? Is there a specific way? And keep yourself off of
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
because I'm gonna
you're
ask
saying it right. You're saying it right. No,
Naranjan.
yeah, you got it. Mhm.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a few more quick questions if that's okay.
Sure.
And I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm asking her, and I'm going to be taking notes, right? Just like I would do in an intake session, dealing with a client or someone who would be, wanting to know how I can support them. And I want you to just pay attention because I want you to think about what also is happening in your own life. Okay. So, we're going to talk about the fire element here.
Mhm.
And fire represents our physical vitality, how we move our body. It represents a lot of other things, but for tonight's masterclass here, we're just going to talk about exercise. So, how often, and this isn't about being perfect, right? This is, you're going to get a nugget from this. How often do you exercise for just even 20 minutes at a time? You exercise every day? Is it a couple of days? Some people are like, no, I don't exercise.
Um, in the past, I've done it where I'm pretty aggressive with it. Like I'll do 6, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll either will have an injury, let's say, for instance, I'm just giving you a bit of a snapshot of the last 6 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
Either I'll get busy or I'll get any, or unfortunately, I had a back injury and that took me out for probably about 2, 3 weeks. So then gingerly I go back. But typically, for a minimum 20 minutes, I'm doing at least every other day,
Okay. So
minimum 20
every
minutes.
other day right now.
Hmm.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so for your earth element, Duranjan,
Hmm.
how often do you cook from scratch? And I mean no processed food, not buying anything that's pre-done, literally with whole food ingredients where you went out and you got the ingredients and you made a meal. How often is
Probably
that?
daily.
Daily?
Hmm.
Perfect. Okay. And for the air element, how often do you meditate or even just spend quiet time by yourself?
Daily. I might
Okay,
miss a day here and there for meditation, but most of the time it's
beautiful. Okay, and water element, how much water do you drink on a daily basis? So, I'm talking a 250 ml cup, so not like a coffee cup.
I would probably say 250. I probably do about 2 or 3 of those. Now we're getting a little cooler in the temperatures, but in the summer I was drinking way more.
Okay,
Mhm.
so almost a liter. Okay, this is perfect. So I want everybody to pay attention. Okay. So thank you for that because from your leadership and showing, we're going to keep moving through the other steps, but we're still on step one. So even interestingly, I do want to talk about water with everybody here tonight because I want to remind everyone that even 1 cup of coffee needs, and I'm talking a 250 ml. So this is a little bit bigger. I didn't have a 250 ml cup coffee. So even we're going to say like 3/4 of this is probably a cup if you're in the States, 250 ml in Canada. So 1 little cup of coffee this size needs 8 cups of water, pure water, to rebalance the water levels in your bloodstream. Okay. So with that, I want to encourage everybody to pay attention to the water that they're intaking in their body because many of us have diets that are, we drink a lot of pop, we drink a lot of coffee, we drink sometimes alcohol. And the amount of water that needs to be in the body is so low because we haven't been taught that we have to rebalance that. Okay. So, it's just one indication for a lot of people, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and as we go through. So healing, when we're talking about the steps and the elements of health and wellness, I just want to remind everyone that this isn't about being perfect and to try and be perfect, but anything we're going to implement, remember that healing always takes time. But asking for help, sticking your hand up, speaking and sharing the truth about how your life really is a courageous step. And it's so important. So, even for everyone just being here tonight, I just want to remind you of the courage that you're showing because you're genuinely care about your health and wellness. And remember that your health is your responsibility and no one can do it for you. And even right now, as we're seeing the fall of so many patriarchal systems in our society, especially in healthcare and education, this is being reflected in astrology and it's not going to stop. Okay. So, in my opinion, what that means is that we have to take the power back in our hands and to be personally responsible for our health and wellness, especially now that we are in this age of Aquarius, because we're going to see huge changes in these areas. So that is just step number one. It's just simple that you have to understand that that's our power right now is to just pay attention and to always know that we have the ability to look after ourselves. And what we're going to do is go into step number 2. And if you're here tonight, raise your hand or give me some hearts. Like, are you ready right now to just experience a 1 degree shift? to help you experience that little bit of magic, because we're going to do something together. Yeah. Okay. So if you're willing to just take a couple of minutes for yourself right now without any distractions, we're just going to do something really quick together. And I'm going to encourage you to join me in a really short visualization. And if you're willing to close your eyes and just take 3 deep breaths together. So I'm just going to count with you guys. Okay, so just relax. Take in a deep breath and breathe out. And take another deep breath in and breathe out. And take that final breath and just breathe out and just relax. And imagine that you are outside of your own physical body and you're looking down on you, and choose to see yourself in your favorite place that always makes you feel happy when you're there. Okay, so really feel that happiness and pretend that you are an angel or a spirit guide or even a loved one who has passed over and right now is just lovingly watching over you. And just take another deep breath and connect. You have the magic power to energetically send an instant message so that you hear what you honestly need to start doing today. And without thinking, I want you to choose just one of the 4 following elements: fire, earth, air, or water. And which of those 4 elements is resonating with you today or just calling you right now? And just trust your intuition and repeat the element in your mind. And then just place your hands on your heart and thank your higher self for sending you this message. And then just take another deep breath and open your eyes when you're ready. Okay? Is there anybody willing to share or even write in the chat what element is calling you right now? What did everybody hear? Might be the same. We might have differences. Fire, need exercise. Air, fire, earth, air. Awesome. Yeah. I need exercise. Yeah. Water. Right? So that's just showing you, there's always something we can do, right? Call it saying air. So thank you for doing that little exercise with me. And I just want to remind you that when we do know, don't be hard on yourself, because when you're going through a challenging time, life is getting in the way, right? And so our health suffers for many of us. Happened to me. It's happened to me multiple times. And we all slip up. But if we don't make the time to start looking after ourselves or even just managing what we're feeling, it can create the dysfunction in our health, right? So we need to have this consistency of just reminding ourselves to just check in with our bodies, even just to do that visualization or just to ask yourself, because sometimes the things we hear aren't even logical. It's like, why do I keep hearing this? And I can't understand it. Okay. But just trust your intuition because it's always correct. I mean, we're all women in the room here, right? Our intuition is like our greatest relationship. And I believe the best way is to focus on just one action step And I'm going to encourage you to focus on that one element that spoke to you tonight, because when we're feeling down or we're going through something, it is most likely that at least one of those four elements is out of balance. And for some people, it can be two or three that need to be taken into consideration. And on that note, I just want to reflect, like back in when I shared my story, when I felt really lost and I was scared because I didn't know what to do after my doctor gave me that, I don't know what to do with you. I was feeling really lost. And so that was a big emotional day for me, right? So even what you're going through, even what Naranjan might be going through, sometimes we just like she's feeling unsettled, you might feel that's a feeling of like we feel lost or we're scared because life just doesn't seem to be making sense. So I just want to remind you that if you feel this way, there's absolutely nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with you. But when you just take that first step and you admit that you don't know, I guarantee there is someone who's ready to step into your life, who does know how to support you, because help is always available, right? So remember that part in my story where I said, like, literally coming out of the doctor's office, like feeling, I mean, I could barely see the road driving home. I was crying so much. And literally that hour later, I talked to a woman who I barely knew, and she was able to help me. Like, to me, that's destiny. That's like destined to happen. That's like those miracles that are knocking on our door all the time, right? I just don't believe that we're meant to suffer by ourselves if we just give ourselves permission to say, I need some help here today, right? So I believe there's no accident that you're on this masterclass tonight. I just know it because I'm here for you. And I want you to get the support that you need to implement some of these changes in your life. And when I showed up at that woman's house and went into her basement, I mean, I was making changes to my earth element, right? I didn't know. I didn't know anything about herbs or cleansing. And that woman gave me some herbs along with some treatments. And she was saying to me, your body is toxic. And I'm like, I didn't know what she was talking about, right? But that is the one thing that really started, the toxicity to start releasing based on those treatments she gave me. And we don't learn this stuff in school, right? So we have to take personal responsibility for our health. And this is how you become powerful, right? That's our power, right? Not waiting for someone else to do it for us, because that will just never happen. So to recap, step number 2 is to just claim that one specific element that you intuitively know that you can begin making changes. And so now for step number 3, depending on what you chose, I'm going to give all of you a self-guided action step. Okay. So if you chose fire, if you heard fire, it's not just about exercise. This is what I'm going to encourage you to do, is to move your body, your physical body, for at least 20 minutes a day. But I want you to do something that you absolutely love to do. And this might mean you need to reconnect with your childhood, your teenage years, or a time in your life where you just did something physical and you loved it. For women, it could be, I just don't dance anymore, right? I don't jump around like a little kid anymore. Allison's saying that's me, right? For me, it was playing sports. Like, I need to, in my chart, I need to physically move my body. If I'm feeling off, I know, yeah, I'm not exercising. I know it. But again, this isn't about encouraging to go to the gym and to get that membership and force yourself to go, because if that is something that you don't love to do, what's happening is that it's causing stress. And so your cortisol levels are going to go out of whack because that's an imbalance. So I'm encouraging you to tap into something that you absolutely love. Okay. And I want you to make this easy so that you succeed. Okay? Make it fun, ladies. And if you heard Earth or you're choosing Earth, I'm going to encourage you, like Naranjan's already doing, is to prepare just one small meal. You know, if you know you need to start eating better, just one small meal every day that's not using any processed food or store-bought items. Eating out, thinking you're eating healthy, unless you're going to an organic, gluten-free, dairy-free place, come on. I mean, I've worked in the food industry since I was 14, 15 years old. I've seen every aspect of the food industry and it's scary. Okay. And it's getting worse. Okay. So I don't want you to spend a lot of money if it's not in your budget. So you can start with just using a couple of organic ingredients and start with something that's not going to break the bank, like bananas. Organic bananas only cost a little bit more, or even getting organic herbal teas. Okay. They don't cost that much more. You can get a box because even the minerals in organic teas is like taking a natural vitamin. So you can get absorbed into your bloodstream. All right. And plus, when you're drinking more tea, you're also drinking more while you're drinking more water, right? If there's no caffeine. If you chose air, I'm going to encourage you to sit quietly with yourself for at least 20 minutes a day, preferably outdoors if that's possible, or somewhere where no one's going to distract you. And I know for me in the beginning, this was really tough. I literally had to shut that door and say, Mom's checking out for 20 minutes. And I felt guilty, but I knew I had to do it. Okay. At that time, I didn't even know what intuition was. I didn't even know I had it. And yet my intuition was screaming at me about a lot of things in my life. So also, if this means that you have to get up early or go to bed after everyone else, then I'm going to encourage you to do what you need to do and spend that time with yourself, because your intuition is your greatest relationship. And when you're feeling down or you're feeling out of sorts, you know, spending time alone is actually good. Sometimes people go through a challenging time, you know, they do want to be alone, they do want to check out, but please don't do that for long. I'm not going to encourage you to have that. But like a good friend of mine says to me, whenever she goes through something major, big, she goes, I give myself permission to have a pity party for 2 days, right? I cry it out, I let it out, but she goes, but then I get back on that horse, right? And that's also a good time to really connect with your feelings. Like, what is genuinely coming up for you, right? And be honest about it. And on that note, there's always a specific time each month when your feelings might bubble up and feel really, really strong, which means to just pay attention. It's like your intuition or your heart is screaming at you, because once you connect with that raw feeling, whether it's good or it's negative, it's okay. It's just helping you to even determine what you're feeling. And for me, working with my clients, it helps me determine what natural remedies I'm going to give them to help them rebalance into a positive state. Does anybody know what time of the month I'm talking about? Happens once a month, right? And it's happening in 2 days. It's the full moon. That is no joke. Okay. So if you have really intense dreams or something's just coming out, just ask yourself, what am I feeling? And if you're following me on social media, if you're following astrology, wherever the moon is, it's always a great indication of what you might be feeling. So the full moon tomorrow on 2 nights is going to be in Taurus. That's an earth sign. So Taurus is a very nurturing, stable, for, you know, like you just want to sit there with your blanket, you know, or have a massage. It's a very nurturing energy. But when the moon is like it is in tonight, it's in a fire sign of Aries. So the moon in fire sign is quick. Sometimes people shoot off and they say something and then they go, I just stuck my foot in my mouth, right? So it's no joke where the moon is. And then for water, what I'm going to encourage you to do is to reduce the amount of caffeine and the alcohol so that you can raise the amount of water that your body needs on a daily basis. Because most people are dehydrated. I mean, that's a fact. And did you know that even dehydration doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mood too, and our emotional resilience. And when we're even slightly dehydrated, it can lead to fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and an increased risk of anxiety and ultimately depression, right? And according to a study in 2018 published in the World Journal of Psychiatry, dehydration was significantly associated with higher levels of depression in adults, especially for women, right? And this really matters because our emotional health isn't just about our mindset. It's not about what we're thinking. It's about our entire body. So we have to focus on our emotional health, our physical health, and that spiritual connection. And if we truly want to be feeling better during a challenging time, we have to treat our bodies with just so much care. Who remembers, right? In my story, when I talked about how I started studying those different healing modalities, right? I went to school and I worked with teachers. Over time, I was implementing what I had learned into my lifestyle, right? So I wasn't just going to school. I was like, okay, I need to know this. And you guys know it's like having a great recipe, right? The women notice. So what's she doing now, right? Passing down that knowledge. And I just want to say that I'm not perfect. And, I've had so many ups and downs where I've been forced to look after myself. And I have slipped up. There have been times when, I just didn't look after myself, but it was like, yeah, I know what to do. But when I have gone through a challenging time, I know that I can implement those specific action steps that always give me that power to bounce back really quick. And it's based on my own astrological birth chart. And so whenever I'm traveling or if I'm at work or I'm away from the house, I literally have my little purse that I carry some things with me, right? All the time. I don't want to give my power away, right? So raise your hands. Do you want some results? Right? Who's going to take action tonight? Right? Yeah, absolutely. That just makes me feel so good to know that, you're understanding what I'm trying to say. You guys want to share what it is you're going to do? I want to hear it. I want to hear what everyone's going to do tonight. Do you want to write it in the chat for me? Just so we can, create that energy, create some magic for yourself. Nanja, I see the connection with lack of natural minerals, sea salt. Yeah, absolutely. We can put that in our water. Dance like nobody's watching. Oh, yeah. You want to see your energy shift? Fire. I'm going to be honest and tell you something about fire. That will shift your energy the most and the fastest is always fire. And fire is the first element in the astrological chart. It's Aries. So dancing like nobody's watching, running around like you're a kid, like don't care, like just going out there and have some fun. Those big, great belly laughs, moving that energy through your body is such a powerful thing to do. And on a side note, fire is also sexual energy. And that doesn't mean, ladies, we're all women here. You don't have to have a partner. Okay. It's energy. It's just energy you can move. You can go to Kundalini class. You can do some deep breath work. That's still fire. Like you're moving the energy through your body. Yeah. Just disconnect and breathe. Absolutely. A focus on comforting, be a grounding to the earth. Ah, Shanda, that's great. Already eat unprocessed food. Yes. Right. And even walking barefoot. That's great. Doing breathing relaxation. Too chilly outside. Yeah. Yeah. Even getting outside. Allison, get my dance playlist going again. Woohoo! Dance party. I see it happening. Yeah, absolutely. This is great, ladies. It's so great. It makes me feel so good. Right. Okay. So this is awesome. And again, that is, and I know there's a woman in the room that understands this word tonight because I know what she also does, but I'm going to tell you, that's alchemy. That's when magic happens, when you just do something about it, you know? And people say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, seriously? You know the details of my life? Would you know that I don't consider myself lucky, but I'm happy. I'm happy and I'm content because I always took the power in my life to do something about it when life felt challenging, right? And so that to me is success. To me, I feel wealthy because at 61, I'm healthy and I see what other women around me are going through. And I'm like, yeah, right. So the challenges have suited me well. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to give you guys some additional support that will help you. There's another little something you can do on a weekly basis that's aligned with the astrological sky so that you can learn some simple action steps. So again, I mentioned it earlier lightly, but did you know that specific astrological events kind of happen, they happen, there's big events that happen, but pretty much on a weekly basis. The planets are moving around because the moon in general moves the fastest, if we learn that in school. So the moon goes around the earth every 28 days. And every time the moon goes into a new sign, we might feel a little bit different. And the moon can actually trigger specific emotions that many people are feeling at the same time on a global scale. Like I said, especially on a full moon. So in 2 days, we are going to have the Taurus full moon. And when this happens, for example, when the moon's in Taurus, we just might feel like we just need to slow down, right? And to not be rushed, or maybe just to do something that's very nurturing, right? Even giving somebody a back rub or putting a blanket over somebody, like that's a nurturing feeling. And you don't need to go to school and become an astrologer because I have already done the research for you guys. And every week, I always recommend some very specific natural solutions to help everyone feel calmer, more grounded, and to even get a good night's sleep. Because sometimes the planets are aligned and it's triggering things. And, sometimes I'm saying you guys might not be sleeping this month, and I'm going to tell you why, right? So we can manage our emotions, we can stay more balanced if we know which natural solution or holistic remedy to use. So when things are happening in the planet with the planets, I know exactly what is going to be most suitable. So again, this is my 25 years of training and these templates and all the notes I've kept over these years. So does that make sense? Yeah. So each week I create a short video that goes out on my social media, and it goes out on Thursdays. And it also, believe it or not, goes to my local TV station here and right across Northern Ontario. They actually approached me and said, "People need to know this." And I was like, "Really? Really?" And I'm like, wow. Okay. So I make my videos so short. They're only a couple of minutes long, and it explains what's happening in the sky, right? And I can predict what we might be all feeling on an emotional level. And then I also recommend at least one plant or food that you can use to make a main ingredient in an herbal tea. So you can make it into a cup of tea. And this will help to balance your feelings. Plus, I offer a simple action step you can do to help you from feeling stuck or whatever. And it also lines up with actually what's happening in the sky. So sometimes it's an action step, whether it could be, go spend time in nature, or I'm going to ask you a specific question, or is this a time for reflection, or is this a time where you need to, embrace a different element, right? So I talk about this in your weekly videos. And if you'd like to watch them, I'm going to encourage you to stay till the end. And the ladies are going to put a link in the chat at the very end. And this is going to be your free gift. So all of the information is going to be in that 4-page PDF. And you're welcome to follow me. It's going to give you my links on social media, my YouTube link. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is even subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Inner Lights Academy TV. My business is called Inner Lights Academy. And pay attention to what I'm talking about. You'll see the patterns that I'm sharing. Oh, when the moon is here, Tamron talks about that. Oh, when it's Mercury retrograde, Tamron's talking about this. And then you can start understanding these astrological patterns and it will start to make sense. I make it really simple for people. Okay. And not only will this save you time and money by not having to buy books or to figure this out or go study for years, it just makes it simple. And I'm using items and making tea with a lot of food and ingredients that are probably in your kitchen cupboards already, ladies, right? Because we're not taught the emotional healing properties of food. And additionally, on the front page, I've written out a basic template that you can print it out for yourself, or you can just use it as a guide to connect with what's currently happening and just take some notes, right? And then you can maybe write down on there, this is the spot for the foods or herbs that I'm recommending, right? And then what's the action step? And that link will be posted at the end of this class, okay? So some of you might be thinking about how you can learn more specific holistic action steps that are based on your chart, because tonight's training is just that sneak peek in teaching you how astrology can be used as that template for our health and wellness by using the 4 elements. And inside of my 28-day astrological wellness experience that I have coming up, I will study each specific element of your unique astrological chart to offer more detailed information on how you can stay balanced by uncovering one specific element that needs to be activated right away, right? So this is going to be a group experience. And if you join, I'm going to look at your chart and I'm going to say for each person, okay, this is going to be your focus for the next 28 days so that you will always know, okay, there's always one thing I can do. Okay. And there's so much more that I'm going to offer during this 28-day experience. And you'll be able to learn from an astrological perspective how to manage your emotional and physical well-being, even more specifically. And again, this is going to be different for everyone who joins the experience. Okay, so it's a 28-day thing. We're going to go through 28 steps over that entire time. And with that, you'll be able to learn what it is that always will need to be activated and to really pay attention to how your body changes and how you feel. And again, that's going to be aligned with your own astrological birth chart. Okay. And we're going to also tap into the 4 elements, and you're going to learn a little bit more about each of the 4 elements and what they mean in an astrological birth chart. Does that make sense? So that's coming up. So as we finish off, again, I just want to celebrate with everyone. You've created an intention tonight, something new you're going to be doing or something you're going to reactivate in your life. And I want to thank you for your time. And if you've been paying close attention, you've likely realized how powerful astrology really is. And again, I just want to remind you that right now we are living through a profound global transformation, which is the dawn of the age of Aquarius. And as an astrologer, I understand that Aquarius represents the collective rising together in support of one another. We're experiencing that fall of the patriarchal systems, right? Dismantling all those outdated themes so that we can literally rise from the ashes. So this is going to be a new way of living for everybody. And we're witnessing the shifts in world politics, healthcare, and education. And the time to embrace the woo-woo is right now, especially astrology, holistic health solutions, and that recognition that we are multidimensional beings, right? True emotional health and wellness requires balance across the mind, body, and our spirits. And many of my past clients are truly amazed at how I've created a simple and easy to use astrological framework for each of them to stay organized on a daily basis so they're able to balance those elements over time to feel more confident, happier, and tapping into the amazing wisdom of astrology. And before we go, I would just love to quickly share the story about my previous client who was already fascinated with astrology. And her name is Maggie. She's a 55-year-old woman, but she was really feeling down and out because she was a senior executive who lost her job following a claim of harassment. And she came to me feeling anxious and fearful, and she was actually really depressed. And I could relate what she was going through. And she had lost all of her self-confidence, her self-esteem, and her personal power. And she felt victimized and angry by the injustice of what had just happened to her and how it made her feel on a personal level. Like she just felt so knocked down. And after hiring me, within a few days, she was already beginning to feel much better, and her destructive feelings were replaced with calm and positivity and optimism because she used the specific items that I recommended for her as I worked through her astrological chart and shared that information. And we got started on one step right away. And also, when I studied her chart, I validated what she was feeling because when I looked, I saw some planets that were representing what had triggered in her life, right? And this was triggered by that astrological event. I could see it just looking at her birth chart. And I told her she wasn't crazy. And there was a scientific and astrological explanation to it. And so when I told her that, she just became more fascinated with astrology, right? So together, we got her going, got her active in doing something right away, using that chart of hers as her framework. And Maggie began to implement more small yet consistent steps that we discussed even later. She even joined me for even a 90-day program later, right? So after that experience and got her started, she continued to work with me. And like I said, over time, we uncovered even more information from her chart so she could take action towards what would truly allow her to feel validated and happy. And she now has a new career and a completely different lifestyle that she absolutely loves. And that big shift that she experienced when she went through that challenge was offering her a moment of personal transformation, right? So she loved attending the astrological experiences that I have inside of my community. And she found more clarity and empowerment by understanding information from her chart. And now she always pays attention to what's happening in the astrological sky. She is avid about watching my weekly videos. She messages me every once in a while. I just can't believe what you just said. Like that's happening to me. And I go, it's happening to everybody. Right. So now she's prepared in life in case she's going through any other emotional challenges because she knows what to do, whether it's ongoing or even for preventative measures. So imagine having a mentor like me who not only understands your astrological blueprint, but I can translate it into a practical, easy to follow wellness plan for you. And my expertise and guidance will help you maintain that emotional balance, along with understanding which element really needs to be implemented right away. And I'm going to tell you, as a double Capricorn myself and a natural born leader, I am fully committed to helping women unlock a holistic, vibrant lifestyle that aligns with their soul's journey, right? Let's use astrology. And I understand that investing in a mentorship program or an experience can bring up concerns about time or money, but the empowerment and the transformation you gain are absolutely immeasurable. And I guarantee this will change your life forever. And I provide support in a way that respects your time, ensuring that every moment you invest brings you closer to the balanced, healthy life that you all deserve. And I know I will save you time. And I know I'm going to save you money because you're not going to have to guess anymore because the answers are already in your astrological chart. It is just so cool. So remember, this free masterclass is just a quick overview tonight of how I support my clients. And during my 28-day astrological wellness experience, which is starting in a couple of days, I go much deeper into each client's chart to provide that one exact recommendation so you can begin to feel better right away. And we're going to have group coaching sessions together. There's going to be one every week, and they are going to be recorded. And each client is going to receive their own astrological wellness template for the month so they can focus on implementing a new wellness action step. And by the end of the month, I guarantee you will have shifted your daily habits. And no matter if life gets you down again or what you're going through during another challenging time, whether that's going to be in the future, you're going to have those tools available to you. Okay. So tonight, ladies, I'm offering a free 30-minute astrological wellness breakthrough session so that we can review your challenge that you intuitively picked up on tonight. We're going to review the current challenge that's happening in your life, as well as, review some of your lifestyle choices to determine where you can begin to get started so that you can feel better and feel the results. And on the call, we're going to see if it's a great fit to do more work together and participate in my 28-day wellness experience. Okay. So it's a free call. There's no charge. And the ladies, I'm going to encourage them to put the link in the chat if they haven't done so already. And feel free to click on that link because spots are extremely limited. I've opened up some time in my calendar over the next couple of days. If you go to that link and there isn't a time slot that works for you, go back to the emails you received tonight when you got through Eventbrite. Just reply to any of those emails. Tamron, open your calendar. I need a different day. Okay. I will do that for you. Okay. So my time is a little bit limited, but I will get you in and we'll review that. And I just want to remind you guys to take action. And I'm so happy for you that you came here tonight because I just love the work that I do. And I want to remind you guys that you all deserve clarity and happiness and fulfillment that's aligned with your soul. Okay. Your astrological birth chart uncovers so much information that can just help you shift and understand your life more deeply and how to experience fulfillment because the clues are written in the stars. So you don't need the exact time you were born. You don't need that. All you need is the day you were born and the city, the place you were born. That's all you're going to need. Okay. That information we can get from your chart just from that. So you can jump on my calendar. And if you have any questions, let me know. We can take you off the audio. And I just want to remind you guys again, like I'm an astrologer and I believe in destiny. And I'm here to take a stand for women. It's in my chart. This is what I'm destined to do. And I'm that lighthouse shining a light through the darkness of the chaos and everything that's happening on the planet right now in the women's wellness industry. And I would just love to work with you to help you go deeper and to find the answers that you're all seeking. Okay. So again, spots are limited. My calendar is open. And I'm just going to change something on here. Well, there we go. Just to find out if anybody still has any questions at all. We've got a few more minutes. Anything coming up for anyone? You good? Yeah. Take advantage of my time, right? Book that call. Shonda, it sounds like human design meant to support women through astrology. Thank you so much. Yes. Shonda, actually, I'm a projector. Yeah. So I have some human design coaches, right? It's like, put that information out there, do my videos, right? And that really helped me. Um, Human design is so cool as well. So yeah, I have been in some communities and I find it really, really helpful. So that is, and also just with human in my astrology chart, I'll share with you guys. I have Capricorn. I have the sun in Capricorn in my third house. Okay. Writer, storyteller, speaker. I have the moon in my third house of Capricorn. Okay. I'm all about strategy. I'm all about the templates. I can give you the how to. I have Mercury in my third house of Capricorn. All right. Connect. I can connect with people. I can understand what they're doing. I also have my South Node in the third house of Capricorn, which means my North Node is in the exact opposite sign of Capricorn, which is Cancer. And that means to work and lead women. I was destined to do this work. Right? So astrology can help you with so many things. There are so many different astrologers out there. But for me, because I had done so much work with the holistic health and really helping women, like women used to come to, because I lived in a small community. I'll just share. I lived in a small community. So what happens? There's the good and the bad. Everybody knows your business, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So when it was bad, I felt ashamed, right? Because I didn't know that sticking my hand up and asking for help was my empowerment. But as I got stronger and started using a lot of these holistic solutions, because I was allergic to everything my doctor gave me over a couple of years, when no matter what my physical body was going through, the depression, the suicide, and I'm not talking a mild reaction, I had severe reactions to everything. And she's like, right? What am I going to give you? But when I started using holistic stuff, boom, my body responded right away. And I'm shaking my head, didn't know what was happening. So, to me, that was where, I had to make that choice. And so learning holistic health was the choice I had to make, but it was the right choice because it was like my intuition screaming, go find out more information. So in my astrology chart, there is other signatures where even my Mercury placements and things like that, where my brain works, are all in the sign of Virgo. Okay. The healer, right? Supporting people, being of service to people, right? So even your chart has those indications too, right? But what's happening now on a global scale is that the old systems of the old ways we went to school, the corporate world, it's coming down. So what's happening is it's coming down so that all of these new age practices are going to like fly. We're going to become healthier if we implement some of these holistic solutions. And Age of Aquarius is all about the woo. So think about it. How many women do you know right now are into mindfulness, learning how to meditate, learning how to trust their intuition, even learning what intuition is, right? So this is a powerful time to use all of this, right? For our health and well-being. So does that make sense? Yeah. Like what we're all going through, it can seem scary, but it's going to push us to do something about it. And the world's just going to become better, right? And healthier, right? So, yeah. And even the scariest stuff is looking at what's happening in our food. Like to me, that's just like, oh, God, right? I'll go to the grocery store. And someone did a meme on someone I follow. I follow some people. Oh, I've met a lot of people too. So I still follow them. And I've read some really powerful authors. And I used to go to a lot of events prior to the global lockdown. And I just love posting when people like do something like, I'm standing in, I'm standing in the grocery store, like the big grocery store, and it's got the health food aisle, and they're like, health food aisle in the grocery store. Like, what's all the other stuff in the store? Like stuff like that, right? But I'm glad we have it now that you can actually go to a grocery store now and you can buy, or in Canada, I don't know what it's like in the States, but you can get organic food in the grocery store now. Like, to me, that is huge. That's exciting, right? So we have lots of options out there. But I'll be honest, one of the biggest things, the questions I get a lot is, even in the 28-day experience, you guys are going to get recipes, really simple recipes, because some women come to these master classes and they have never cooked. They don't even, and it's, they're realizing why their body is breaking down. So, it can be very overwhelming. So there's a lot of extra things that I give in the experience. That's why I'm going to encourage you, if you are interested, to get on that call with me, and I'll share in more detail exactly the details of that experience and what you're going to get too. So there's a lot of great stuff in there, loaded with information every day for 28 days. You're going to learn a wellness tip, right? And something about the elements. Okay, just checking in, make sure we have any questions. So yeah, are you guys good? Did you guys have fun? Yes. You're gonna do something? Show me some hearts. Yes. All right, ladies. Thank you again for coming out tonight. You will get a replay of this, and yeah, you're gonna hear from me as well. You'll be getting some follow-up emails as well. Okay.
And don't forget the special gift.
That's right. You all stayed till the end. So click on that, get the gift. And if anything, just start following me on social media, ladies. It's just powerful information. I make the videos so easy. They go across all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can get on my newsletter. Well, you will be put on my newsletter as well, actually, now. And those videos will be in the weekly newsletter that come out every Thursdays. You can unsubscribe if you want, but you're going to get the videos anyways. So I can help you. I just want to help you guys. Okay. Yes, exploring gene keys. Yeah. It's all connected. It's very cool. Okay. Thanks again. I look forward to connecting with some of you women. Okay. Keep going. Okay. So we're going to remove people. So I'm going to talk to my assistants here. So we're going to pull you guys out. Okay. Thanks again for coming. There we go. Woohoo! How do we do for time? Right on. We did good for time.
8:25. 90 minutes.
Hey, how did that happen?
Practice.
It's
called practice.
Yeah, it was good. I know I lost my notes here a little bit, but it's good. I mean, I've taught this a bit. I don't want to always keep using my notes, but yeah, so it was good. And people showed up. Did anybody catch the numbers? At one point I looked and I saw, I think
there's 8 people.
8 people. Awesome. Yeah.
You had 6 guests.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw more than that because at one point there's 4 of us and then the number was 12.
Yeah, I saw 13 at one point, but I didn't know if people were jumping off and on because, like I said, I couldn't see.
A couple of them did, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Okay, I know Allison's going to start dancing. Sandra, what are you going to do?
You know, I was thinking about that because mine was water.
Yeah.
And I don't drink caffeine and I don't drink alcohol.
How's your water intake?
It's excellent. It's a minimum of 100 ounces a day plus whatever else.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, it could be, just because you guys aren't here, it also represents some other things too. But in someone's chart, not saying this is your chart, but sometimes water is just giving ourselves permission to cry. You know, and or even just connecting with our intuition,
Right.
because the water is connected to the water is connected to like the moon, especially in women.
Yeah.
But it's also our intuitive abilities as well.
But I have been craving water, like I've been going down to the beach and I've been swimming. So I've been
That could be it
getting
too.
in water,
Yeah,
like
could be
just
in
needing to
water.
be in water.
Or to
That's
hear
what I was
water.
getting for you too, Sandra, to be in the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or even just to hear the sound of water can
Yeah.
be very soothing for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even, and this is what that woman was asking, when you study astrocartography, which is the most suitable place for you to live, in my chart, if I live near water, I'm happy. Right? And that's in your chart. Some people, no, they have no desire. And even oceans and that, no. Small lakes, small, not big, huge water places, right? So yeah, it's so fascinating, the stuff that shows up in astrology. Paulette, how about you? What are you going to do?
You're muted, Paulette.
We can unmute.
I know I had to be unmuted by you all because I couldn't unmute before. I was air.
Oh, nice.
I picked air. I mean, I was thinking water, but air seemed for me.
Yeah. Do you meditate a lot?
Not officially, but I do take, like, in the morning before I get out of bed, I give myself 20 minutes of just breathing, not necessarily thinking like, oh, I got to do this or that. I kind of do my quiet time before I get up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I probably should drink water before I drink coffee, though.
I hear you. I still love coffee, but I do, when I get up now, I have a glass of water beside the bed.
Yeah, I usually drink through the night. I have water near me enough.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and even air too sometimes is not just meditation, but even finding like specific mindful practices that are suitable for you. Like there's different things you can do, like some that have like binaural beats, like that balance the brain more, or some is like actual breath work and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm actually a Feldenkrais practitioner, so I'm familiar with all that.
Yeah.
You're what?
Yeah.
A Feldenkrais practitioner.
Oh, yeah.
Familiar with that.
Yeah, so I do a lot of movement and a lot of breathing and yeah.
Good
stuff.
But
I totally appreciate that, Tamron, because that's
thank you.
been my self-care. As I was listening to you, I was relating to all of the, like my body wrecked everything.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, awesome. Well, thanks again. I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know it's a 90-minute class, so it's a little bit longer than the other ladies. So thank you again. Thank you so much. It just makes it easy for me.
Allison, we need to do a dance party.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right. You know, jump around.
I love that. And Tamara and I got a screenshot, so I'll check it out and send it to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
welcome.
much. Okay. All
Have
right,
a great night, ladies.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.